So I want to take a second and talk about Spirit of Halloween. I do love their props. Their stuff is pretty cool. It's cool to go in there and see all the new stuff for all the year. The problem is it is expensive. Spirit of Halloween is a company that is novelty, which means they make their money pretty much 1 month a year. However, they're open 12 months a year. So you can mail order for them any time of the year and buy their stuff off their website. However, their stores open up for 1 month a year. So the expense of renting the store, setting up, filling it with merchandise, hiring, all for 3 weeks is very expensive. Which is why Lunging Lily here retails for $190 plus, about $190. And it's a toy. Okay, this thing probably costs $15 to manufacture. It is a toy. It's a basic microprocessor, all plastic. Same kind of thing you could find at Toys R Us for any other toy. The only cool thing about her is the head, which I liked her for. The eyes light up. It's latex with a lot of hair. The mouth moves. So the head by itself to me was worth it, but not for $195. I did not pay that. I went the week after Spirit Halloween, or Halloween rather, a week and a half after, because then as soon as they go to 25%, then 50 and 75% off. So Lunging Lily here went from $190 down to $80. Then it was this one right here was the floor model, which I asked the lady to plug in and check, and it was broken. Didn't even work. The gears were grinding. So they weren't going to sell it to me. So I said, well, I don't care if it works. I can fix it. I want to change it and do something totally different. I don't care. She had to call the manager, and she came back like 10 minutes later, and the manager basically said to me, $35, and it's yours. So I took it. If not, it was going in the dumpster anyway. It was a write-off. It's broken. So I got it for $35. So to me, the mask, the hair, the upper torso, and the dress were worth it for the prop. So I took it. Now, how does it work? Well, all of the props there, even the ones at Home Depot, none of them are pneumatic. They all work off of a gearbox mechanism, which I happen to have right here. I'm going to put it up on my workbench. This right here is the mechanism that most of the props, you see anything that lunges, lurks, jumps up, Home Depot, Spirit of Halloween, works. Now what happens is there is essentially a motor back here. Okay? Through the gearbox, it turns a gear, and this is a cam on this top part which holds springs or whatever, ghost or whatever they decide to bolt to it. As the motor turns, the gear will pull this all the way down, and if I do it right, I can actually, if I turn it, this will go all the way back to here. And if you look in the main gear in there, that main gear in there, there is actually that flat spot right there. When that flat spot comes up, it disengages from the teeth on this, which allows the spring tension to lift. If you notice, every single prop, right before it launches, has to spring back, go back down, maybe quarter inch, just a little bit. You see it move? Then they spring up. Why? It's the way that last tooth holds this gear right here. Then, while the prop is going off, as the gear resets, it makes a full rotation, and this little tiny micro switch tells the PC board when to stop, and it's ready for the next launch. Downside is you only get one launch. And it takes probably the entire time the prop is going off for this thing to reset, to go back down, to be ready to launch again. So unlike pneumatics, you can't make it go up and down really fast or control it the way you want to. So that was gone. Also, which I don't have the rest of the lunging Lilly parts anymore. I should have videoed them, but the whole plastic mechanism was wobbly. The entire head, if I push it over, it would instantly fall over. They had ground stakes. They give you weights with the bags, weighted bags to put on the back to hold these things, because they do have a lot of spring tension. So because of all the upward motion, I decided to change it. I didn't like the way, if you want to say, look on YouTube, Lunging Lilly Spirit Halloween prop, there's a million of them to see how the original one. It just basically sat on the floor. I decided to get her up a little bit. I got a chair, so it makes a nice, easier base rather than the plastic garbage it comes with. And let me show you how the whole steel mechanism works underneath. It's a modified 4-bar lift mechanism. So I'll show you that right now. So this is the Lunging Lilly Spirit Halloween prop rebuilt with pneumatics. I wanted to show what the inside of it looks like without the top on, that I use this here for Halloween. Now, this is a 4-bar mechanism, which everyone talks about. However, the difference is that not only does it go up, it goes forward. As you can see, I used a normal party chair that I got from an office supply place for $3. And the supports are welded underneath the seat. At nowhere is anything bolted to the top of the chair. So technically, I could unbolt the mounting point and it'll be off. It'll be free. There's nothing there. I could actually use it as a normal chair if I want. Now, how did I set up the mechanism? Well, it's a 4-bar. Technically, you have 1 bar, 2 bar, the top and the bottom. And they essentially go straight up. The difference is the cylinder. Everything rests, so she hovers right above the chair, and then there's a stop right here. But where did I put the cylinder? Most people would put the cylinder down here. Doesn't really matter where you put your cylinder. The cylinder can be anywhere on the prop. So this actually sits up between her head, which would be up here, which mounts on this. And then the neck and the back, and this would represent her back. So let me fire it off and show you. If I can push the button. All right. What I have is to come back down, I actually have a flow control so it doesn't slam back down. This thing actually shoots up and forward so hard. So let me unplug the air down here. And I can show you. Not only does it go up, it goes forward. All right. It actually goes forward with enough force that it can tip the entire chair over. Now, how did I figure out what measurements to make the 4-link? Well, I actually came up with a little tiny model. Legos. The Technique Legos, you can see, go up and down. You know, from the sets, you can go up, down, straight up. That means the top and the bottom bar are exactly identical. The links are exactly identical, and everything stays square. That's what everybody likes to build. However, if I slightly alter the distances between these two and the back, what you'll know when it goes up, the top actually goes forward, so you get a lurching motion, which is what I've done with Lilly here. The front actually tilts forward and they're closer together. The back is farther apart. Made up in 3/4 steel, which is way stronger than the original. It does not wobble. 3/4 inch cold rolled square tubing. All the pivots, 1/4 inch nut and bolts for the various sizes. Because of the mounting, I did like the head and I wanted to keep the existing mounting tab. What I did, I cut off the top plate of the Spirit Halloween prop to use that to mount the head on. Then underneath, again, nothing touches the seat. The air valve mounts right to it, short, so there's not a lot of air problems. You keep your lines nice and short to your valves, not a problem. Then everything else gets routed and all the control lines come underneath the chair to the back of the chair. You can see that's how lunging Lilly works inside. And then I will show you, instead of using obviously the microprocessor, I use a Arduino Uno, MikeNorthButtonBanger.com. You can get the wiring diagram, the specs. You can build a 4-channel prop controller with MP3 audio, and I will show you how that works. But check out Mike North to build a cheap prop controller for your next project. That way you can buy several of them. They're not that expensive, and they're 100% programmable. And you don't have to do it like the Fright props where you have to bang the buttons. It's actually done on a graphical interface. You can sequence it and get the timing to exactly where you really want it.